Hey everyone, you know who it is here. So, time for the second video on the channel. I just want to fill you in on what's been going on with me a little bit lately. So, today's my birthday, and last night I went to see Carcass at the Waterfront in Norwich, and it was a great concert. They can still play, you know, the mosh pits were insane. It's always good to see a veteran band like that just still dropping amazing albums. The openers as well, I'm going to have to spend a bit more time with their music. But if you go to their Instagram page, you'll see the names of the bands. I can't quite remember them, if I'm being honest, but worth checking out. Some pretty cool stuff. So today I'm coming at you with the first episode of what's going to be a series called New Vinyl. And how this series is going to work is when I feel that I've collected enough new records, I'm going to come on here and explain to you why I shelled out 3 times the price of a normal album for this music and what it means to me and why it's so good. So without further ado, I've got a big stack here for you to talk about today. A lot of loud music. I've been on a bit of a heavy kick in the last few months and bolstering up my collection with that kind of music. So we'll get started with a new release from Spirit Possession of the Sign. It's their second album, came out this year, I think about a month or so ago. These guys play a really ferocious, technical and somewhat lo-fi take on black metal and blackened death metal, and it can be really hard to decipher. But if you're the sort of musician or music listener that likes sort of unique and esoteric guitar styles, then I'd definitely check this out. It can be quite challenging, and you know, if you're like me and you appreciate stuff that feels fresh, then you know, I'd give these guys a shout if you want to try something unique from your standard sort of blackened death metal flair. Okay, next got this absolute classic beast, Pig Destroyer, Prowler in the Yard. I was introduced to this album by a guy called Jared Morgan Vinyl, who has an amazing page on Instagram. He's one of the main sources that I will go to for passionate descriptions on music on that platform. Actually, when I was introduced to this at the time, and this is for somebody who's listened to some very extreme music in his life, this just felt like unrivaled brutality, ferocious playing, absolutely blistering, amazing lyrics, and really creepy intro and outro. It's this kind of spoken word passage where I won't really go into too much detail, but if you want to check it out, if you're feeling brave, then I'll give it a little listen. Got this cool like murky, weird brown colour, suits the music. Album cover is disgusting, and you know, it's disgusting, but it still feels like art. It's like you don't want to look at it, but yet you're still looking at it because you know it disturbs you, and I guess that's kind of the point of the music. Okay, I got given this one today. I was very kindly gifted this as a birthday present. Very famous band out of the, I believe they're from New York, no wave scene, famous Sonic Youth. This is probably their most acclaimed and well-known record. I've got a couple of their other albums. It skimmed me by to get hold of a copy of this, but I was very lucky to be given it. Amazing record, classic in the genre, essential, and there's not really a lot more I can say about it. It's, you know, really highly rated. Even on the hype sticker it says, you know, voted one of the greatest records of all time by Rolling Stone. Take that with a pinch of salt, because Rolling Stone chat nothing but fucking bullshit in my opinion. Yes, they've got some older lists that hold up to this day, but they really do struggle to stay relevant, and I think they're a bit out of touch. But that's enough of a diatribe. I'm not here to shit on Rolling Stone. Amazing record, give it a listen. Coming up next is the first record in my collection by the phenomenal Deathspell Omega. These guys are a French black metal outfit that are probably one of the artists that have the highest quality collection of albums from, I'd say, the last 10 or so years. I know they're steeped in some pretty strange controversy that I don't really know too much about, but I'm here to talk about the music and not the artists behind it, you know. So this album is called Paracletus, and it's, you know, I've listened to a lot of their music, but I haven't really done a full-on deep dive. But I've listened to this enough times to know that if I, you know, ever shell out for it in vinyl, I'm not going to be ashamed. And I've been listening to a lot more of their other stuff lately, and the quality is just through the roof. It's amazing. Funny thing is, this band have never performed live. I don't know if anybody actually knows who makes this music. fair enough if they want a bit of secrecy. You know, more musicians could probably do with that. Yeah, so they play kind of really technical lo-fi black metal, and it's been very influential. I think it was a couple of years ago, a band called Ad Nauseam out of Italy dropped an amazing record that was very much like this style, but their own take on it. So they're clearly making waves within the scene, and rightfully so. Coming up next is one I got quite recently from an amazing record store, my local premium record store in Bury St Edmunds, place known as Vinyl Hunter. I think they have a couple of chains, but I've known some of the guys who work there for quite a long time, and they spend so much time curating the music. And if you're in the area, don't, you know, skip by in this place if you like your music. Just, they do coffee and cake as well, so if you want to go have a nice brew and check out some cool music. Anyway, I got this. This is a record store 2023 release, The Sword, Gods of the Earth. And again, this is a band that I've known about for a long time. Really cool, kind of one of the pioneers of the sort of postmodern vintage doom metal sound, stoned out. It's kind of like a slowed version of Elder, and it's really cool. Just sounds good. You want to play it loud, and I mean, look at that cover art as well. Just, you know, the sheen is just so cool. You know, I saw it. I usually go in, if I'm going to buy one record, I'll flick through as much as possible, but there's usually one that sticks out for me. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get this one. And it's a 15th anniversary, I believe, remaster. Yeah, remixed and remastered, and the wax sounds amazing. Okay, so the next band I'm going to shout out is a legendary UK death metal band. Rightfully, they're often considered amongst the greats of the genre, and that is Bolt Thrower. This is the first of their albums I've ever bought. Again, like I said with Deathspell Omega, I've known about them for a while, and I've listened to a fair bit of their music, but it's only now I'm really starting to give them a bit of a deeper dive, and it's starting to click with me. And, you know, I heard this one recently, and I was like, well, you know, I should get a Bolt Thrower album. Really enjoyed it. I'll get this one. And it's pretty sick. This is War Master, and there are albums like The Fourth Crusade that I really want to get hold of as well, because there are so many career highlights. There isn't a weak point in their catalogue. There are albums that are better than others, but they're one of those bands that just were focused to a lesser or greater degree, but always a pretty high degree throughout their entire career. No longer going, but they've left an amazing legacy on the genre. Okay, cool. So this next album, I had to order to some people I know in America to save me on shipping costs. And this album had a lot of delays, so I'm only now finally getting it in my hands, and that is Foxtails' Fawn. This is kind of like an emo-y metalcore, post-hardcore act, with really unique, like, feminine vocals by the front woman, unlike anything I've ever heard in this kind of music. And I've only listened to it a couple of times. I've been waiting to get it here so I can, you know, jam it a bit more. I think it's on a cool kind of like violet colour, which is very fitting for the artwork. Let's have a little looky look. Oh, maybe I was wrong actually. No, it's like a transparent with, yeah, look at that. Cool little pattern on there. It's got some like pink marks in it as well. That's what I love. They're like subtlety. Bear with me 1 minute, because this is being a bitch to try and get back into the sleeve. Okay, so the next album I'm going to talk about, I just want to give a little disclaimer. If you're the sort of person that deals with anxiety or is dealing with a tough time mentally, I probably think twice before delving headfirst into music of this kind, because what the album is essentially a start to finish representation. It's not a song structured album. There are songs, but you wouldn't, I think, to experience this music, you shouldn't be listening to it from track by track or just in a playlist or whatever. You know, this is you put on the whole piece, and it's Uboa's The Origin of My Depression. If you have any idea about the history behind this album cover, then you might know why this album is so disturbing. And you might think, well, so you've bought an album that essentially is made by an artist who has experienced horrendous trauma with these kind of problems, and they're trying to present it through their music. Why on earth would you want to spend money on that? Well, the thing is, with art, whether it's positive or negative, if it's created with care and love and attention, then regardless of the message, you know, if it impacts the listener, then that's an artistic success, in my opinion. And I think what Uboa has tried to do here is a great success. I think it was released in, if I'm right, 2019, okay? And the first time I heard this, it was, you know, still to this day, I don't think I've ever heard anything more terrifying than my first listen to this album. And it was a long time before I could pick it up again to listen to it. I can enjoy it now. I say enjoy, it's impressive, okay? To sit through, you need to focus on it. And I really hope the artist behind this music is in a better place, because scary stuff. Right, very happy to get this one in the collection. This is a record that I've wanted for so long. Bongripper, Satan Worshipping Doom. Now, everyone knows I'm a slut when it comes to like doom metal, stoner metal, just anything that has fuzzed out volume. And I think of the entire genre, you know, it's a real close contest to say which album tops the kind of levels of instrumental heft. But it's an album like this that makes me understand why we call the wider genre heavy metal, because the guitar tones on this album are so massive and so distorted that they literally feel like a physical heavy object, like a skyscraper is just crushing down on your head, okay? And it's amazing. You want to listen to it loud, you know, just let it ear fatigue the fuck out of you. It sounds amazing on this pressing. It's clearly been given a great mastering. It was repressed as of late. I got it on this lovely orange colour. And it's a double LP. I've listened to it so much since getting it. I can't get enough of it. It's just a thrill ride. Instrumental doom masterclass by a legendary band within the genre. Anyway, next album on my collection is Soul Glow, Diaspora Problems. Now, this was my favourite album of last year. What's so interesting about this record is that, considering all the societal unrest and political unease going on in the world, identity politics, wars, it's no surprise that we're having no shortage of amazing, pumped up, politically themed, socio-politically themed punk records, okay? And we're getting loads of them. Every year we're getting amazing quality punk records, contemporary punk records that really remind you why you fell in love with this music in the first place. And in recent memory, no album has hit me harder or done, you know, just done that style better than this. It's absolutely incredible, okay? I want to give a shout out to the lady musician, rapper, Mother Mary Rose, because of her feature on Driponomics, a song about clothes reselling of all things, was the best rap verse I'd heard last year, okay? And it's not even on a rap album. Now, take into account that we had albums from Billy Woods, Kendrick Lamar, I'd have to check my lists to name a few others, but the fact that I'm saying that for an album that's not even a rap album should tell you something. And you know, the band themselves are on 150% speed, like, just the intensity is incredible. You want to hear it so loud. The dynamics and the elasticity of the vocals is just amazing. The songcraft is brilliant. It's unrelenting. And it's got Elmo, an Elmo doll, on the album cover. And if that isn't reason enough to listen to it, then I don't know what is. Now, the last thing isn't a new record. I've already done a video on this. I just want to give you a bit of feedback now that I've had time to listen to it. So, going back to the Altar of Plagues Trilogy box set. Yeah, it's been really fun getting to discover all this music again. Amazing band. The remasters for this final collection are beautiful. The records sound amazing, and it's been an amazing journey to spend a lot of time with this music again and appreciate it, having the physical copy in my hand after all the years of wanting this music. and it's really special. I'm so happy to have it. And that is everything I've got for you today, guys. If you like this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe, and stay tuned for more content coming on a variety of subjects. I'm still trying to come up with some ideas. You know, I could do endless music videos, but I don't want to be limited to solely that. You know, got travel videos, mental well-being videos, beer reviews, whatever, you know, just life. So cheers for tuning in. You know who it is.